So we don't have our hands on Borderlands 4 yet, but we have our hands on the skill trees for Vex and Rafa. And since then, I have been absolutely foaming at the mouth for a chance to talk about possibility of builds and stuff like that. So today we're going to do a early kind of like bare bones review of Rafa's skill tree and talk about a possibility of a build. And then later on down the road, we'll look back at this video, see if all the points that we did worked out, and maybe do like a, with gear and everything on there and some refinement. Did this ended up being a good build or not? Before I get into this hypothetical theorized build, first off, big shout out to Zeta Demon for creating this awesome skill tree kind of like graph and everything that I have here in the sheets. I will link it in the description down below with also their Twitter, so make sure you're going and giving them a follow. Took a lot of work to make this, so big shout out to them. Now, if you like this video, make sure you're giving it a thumbs up and let me know something you're interested in seeing down below. Definitely go through both Vex and Rafa's skill trees and let me know, hey, can you make a possibility like a build that like goes all the way down to here to this capstone or this? I would love to hear it and love to be able to talk about it with y'all. Subscribe, become a member, and follow me over on YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch at Birdman778. We're going to be streaming most nights, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, starting at 9 p.m. Eastern. So swing on by, let's hang out and kind of be the night crew. Now let's jump right on into this build. So to preface essentially how many points we're going to be putting in this tree, we're going to be going up to 49. When I was looking back at my gameplay from my early access in the vault, I had a level 20 Rafa that I went in with and had a bunch of points breakdown in it. And I noticed that on the top bar where you're able to rotate between the different trees, they actually now have a number on the ones that you don't currently have equipped, and it lets you know how many points you have in that tree. All of my points were into red tree at 19 points, and I had 0 in the other 2, and I was level 20. So by that logic, we likely will have 49 points, since so far we have seen level 50 as the max anybody has had their character, which 49 points I'm pretty okay with. It gives you a lot to work with, allows you to go down and get a capstone and get like pretty close to getting another one, but all around I really do enjoy this. So this will be the point breakdown we start out with. So for this build, we're going to focus on the Peacebreaker cannons. Equip Rafa's Peacebreaker cannons, which automatically fire at enemies in Rafa's crosshair, dealing kinetic gun damage. If that enemy dies or you press M3, it says the Peacebreaker cannons find a new target. Holding F ends Peacebreaker cannons and refunds a portion of the remaining action skill duration as action skill cooldown. I really like these from my own time playing as Rafa, just for the fact that you're able to like turn your brain off and just like play the character, and you're just gonna get this passive extra damage on top of it. Obviously with like the augments and stuff, you're gonna have to kind of, pick and choose like who you're gonna use it on and everything, but as just a, action skill, it's pretty solid. It's essentially just, Axton and Roland's turret just constantly on your back, running around with you. Now, first up, we are going to dump about 5 points into our deft hands setup. Rafa and his Peacebreaker cannons gain increased fire rate, 5 points for a 20% increase. At least right now, I like this just for the fact that it's not only helping out Rafa, it's also helping out those cannons. I did notice the fire rate on them were kind of low at times, so having the possibility of a plus 20% extra fire rate to it is going to help us out in the long run. I will say you probably could put 5 points into this Stillar for essentially possibility of 25% extra gun damage. I believe that will help out Peacebreaker cannon since it is listed as kinetic gun damage, but at least for now, I think I'm just gonna go with the fire rate just because you do get some extra, bonuses for that. Next up, 5 points in Jurga. By the way, I'm from like corn country. I'm horrific with pronunciation. If I butcher something, just yell at me in the comments down below. But we're going to do 5 points into this. Whenever Rafa critically hits, an enemy action skill duration is restored. With this build, I think there's going to be a big emphasis on trying to keep those cannons up as long as possible, since they're going to kind of be carrying most of the damage for you throughout. And a big reason that we do this is because we're going to select the augment Bullet Buddy Deluxe. While Peacebreaker cannons are active, Rafa and his allies regenerate ammo. Rafa's Peacebreaker cannons deal bonus fire damage based on how full his gun is, and his turrets shoot exploding bullets while his magazine is full. And if you press F while Peacebreaker cannons are active, causes Rafa's shots to consume no ammo, but causes action skill duration to drain faster. Now we're mainly going to be focusing on that first part, just for the fact that essentially we're going to have our cannons be doing a lot of extra damage for us, especially once we get down to our capstone, and essentially just like having them shoot exploding bullets while we just like, kind of let it take over for us is really nice. Now we're going to go down to the third row and we're going to max out Maestro. Rafa gains increased skill damage. That's at 9%. 9 times 3, is going to be 27. So 27% ideally extra skill damage will be really great with those cannons. But that leaves us with 2 more points to work with here. And essentially, I think I'm going to go with Resiliencia. Overdrive skill, Rafa gains increased damage reduction while Overdrive is active, essentially giving us an extra 16% damage reduction pretty much all the time, because ideally we should be having those cannons up literally 24/7. Now we're going off into the 3 break-off trees from the main section, and we're going to go left with this, and we're going to be putting 5 points into asymmetric warfare. Indirect projectiles gain increased damage. Indirect projectiles include all action skill weapons, so our Peacebreaker cannons are throwable weapons, so essentially, I guess, like ordnance, throwing knives, stuff like that, and projectiles not fired from your gun. Essentially, getting a 45% boost to our cannons is going to be huge, since those technically are shooting indirect projectiles. Now, going into the second row, we are sitting at about 20 points that we've used so far out of the 49. So we're only going to put 1 point into Ardid. And the reason why I'm only putting 1 point for now is I'm kind of going off of my Borderlands 3 knowledge when it comes to lifesteal. This reads, Rafa's indirect projectiles gain lifesteal at a 10% rate. I imagine these are going to be firing pretty often. So I'm really kind of hoping that we're just going to get that passive healing from it, especially once we get down to Capstone. And then the other 4 points we're going to put into Arid Spark. All indirect projectiles deal bonus fire damage. If the indirect projectile already deals fire damage, double the bonus damage. So 5 points at a 40% damage dealt. So 40. And then if you double that, 80%. Ideally, again, my math is horrible. If I'm terrible about this, please let me know in the comments down below. I will do better for the next one. But that puts us at 25. Honestly, having a lot of juice to work with going down into our Capstone. Now, this is the spot that's going to kind of make us go, do we need to put, 5 more points to get down to our Capstone, or is our Capstone already unlocked now? I'm going to just assume that we need to go up to 30 points to get to a Capstone. So we're going to put that other 5 points over here into Barrage. Overdrive skill. Rafa gains increased splash damage while Overdrive is active, pretty much up to an extra 50%. Why would we do that? Because of that Bullet Buddy Deluxe system, and the fact that, while our magazine is full, those turrets are going to be doing exploding bullets now, meaning they are likely going to be having some extra splash damage, so we can take really good advantage of that. Now that puts us down to our Capstone, double auto shot, and it reads, Rafa's Peacebreaker cannon weapons are replaced with shotguns that deal increased damage and have increased pellet count. Additionally, Rafa's turret gain a chance to ricochet off targets. Ricochet deals reduced damage, and critical hits always ricochet. Meaning, again, we are getting 2 shotguns on our shoulders that are going to be doing bonus fire damage, have bonus action skill damage on them, bonus fire rate, and also now are going to have increased splash damage. To me, I'm essentially assuming that this is just going to be melting everyone in front of us. If the shotguns themselves don't kill everything, it's going to be the indirect ricocheting bullets that are going to do it. So I think 30 points, that's pretty dang good. So we have 19 points to burn into essentially anything, and I'm thinking we're just going to put it into Blue Tree just because there's some good stuff that works there, but there's a specific perk that I think would be really solid for what we're doing. So we're going to do 5 points into Yaris, I believe it is. Overdrive skill, Rafa regenerates ammo while Overdrive is active. Just kind of like adding to that perk that we had before, those Bullet Buddy Deluxe, essentially ensuring that, we're constantly going to have that full ammo, so those explosive bullets are always shooting from our cannons. And then 5 points into the Thrill. Overdrive skill, Rafa gains increased fire rate, gain further fire rate while Overdrive is active. That gets us down to the third column to burn 5 points into. We're going to put 5 points into All Centro. Overdrive skill, Rafa gains increased weapon handling with all weapons and action skills while Overdrive is active. The longer Overdrive has been active, the greater the bonus. To me, that's pretty much saying that our cannons are going to have, obviously better handling overall, ensuring that they're going to just be hitting their targets better. Now we have 4 points left, and we're going to put them into Jack. Whenever Rafa damages an enemy with a skill, he gains a stack of Jack. For every stack of Jack, he gains increased Overdrive bonuses. Whenever Overdrive ends, lose all stacks. So a possibility of plus 20% to our Overdrive, meaning, we're just getting that extra speed and bonuses to it. Now, again, this is just theory, things we're going to be working around with. There's probably going to be stuff in Green Tree that'd be better to place our points into. Maybe Jack isn't the best thing to go into there, but I will at least say I think in the Red Tree, the Peacebreaker stuff that we went into will be really solid overall. Again, note that this is not accounting for gear that we're going to have that's going to add to this. This isn't accounting for class mods that might help out Peacebreaker cannons. There's a lot of stuff we're missing out on, but I just wanted to kind of theorize, you know, a skill build here that we can, again, look back on once we have Borderlands 4 and say, did this work, yes or no? If this video does well, I'm probably going to do a few more of those. So again, just let me know down in the comments below if this is something that's been interesting to you, and if you enjoyed this theorized build. Give a thumbs up, let me know something down below, subscribe, become a member, and follow me over on YouTube and Twitter and Twitch at Birdman778. Again, remember, I'm going to be streaming Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys have a great rest of your night, day, or whatever it may be.